From a near decade battle of leadership issues, source code leaks, username sniping, server issues, and general development problems, Hytale's had a pretty rough first week, and it might even get delayed, which I hope not. So we can start off with the first and most obvious thing ever, that Hytale has been on this crazy battle now. We're at year 7 of battling between having ownership being from Hypixel Studios to Riot back to Hypixel. It's been a rough battle, but Hypixel finally got it back and is in full control. And they have to release it as quick as possible, or else, you know, the hype dies down, people won't be playing the game. But they also have to make it come out as good and high quality as possible, so that people don't play it for the first time and think that it's not good, and then they don't come back when it actually starts developing. So they got Hypixel somewhere like stuck in the middle, which I think is a really crazy and kind of a cool situation. Not cool because it's obviously very high pressure, but yeah. So to bring up the first reason behind there might be a delay in releasing the game itself was that big source code leak that happened on OG users. However, it did only release like the 2018 version of Hytale, the 2018 client, before they even converted to C++, before Riot Games had even touched it. All that, it all got dropped on OG users. I don't know how, I don't know where, but it dropped there. It went on trending on Twitter, and then from there, everybody assumed that Hytale got leaked, so it was like a big wildfire of like PR. But in the end, it was kind of just a big nothing burger. Everything was fine. Nothing actually got leaked really, except for stuff that had already been put out by Simon himself, or by the rest of the Hytale team. So it was actually a pretty tame leak, and that was like the really only big security issue so far. Now, next up, a bigger issue, in my opinion, is this entire username sniping and token thing, which Simon even went on Twitter and admitted, like, hey, we messed up a little bit here. Obviously, it wasn't being sent to the first people who signed up. It was being sent to these other people, blah, 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 and it was being sent out in random chunks along those lines. But what seemed to have happened was they were sending out these claim codes only to people who signed up for Riot's Hytale newsletter. So if you're one of the OG people who signed up for the first 2019 newsletter, you weren't getting anything in your email for like a sign-up code or for a username sniping code. So all of the first OGs, the very, very first people from 2019 were not signing up. Only people who signed up for the Hytale Riot Games newsletter, which sucks, obviously, for a lot of people who wanted to get that, you know, claim their name, claim a cool name, get their chance. But unfortunately, they didn't, and that ended up with there being a lot of people with a ton of good names, which, you know, I think it's just a part of the process. This happens with most games. I mean, we could have all pretty much expected that Hytale, as well as like Minecraft and all these other games, is gonna have one of those like little dark markets of usernames or capes or rare items, and I think that's fine. You know, there's some scamming here and there, there's some like toxicity about it here and there, but I don't really think it's that big of an issue. Yeah, so there was that, there were some server issues, and obviously the biggest thing of all is the general developmental problems on if Hypixel Studios is going to be able to push out a good, respectable, high quality game by the release date of January 13th. That is what I think the delay is like most dependent on. However, the source code leak, this username sniping stuff that people have been complaining about, seems to be putting low pressure out. Say it's getting noticed, but it doesn't seem to be slowing down anything whatsoever. So in my humble opinion, I'm gonna say that Hytale's coming out on January 13th, because I don't think they can even afford to push it back any further. But definitely let me know down in the comments, and please subscribe, because I'm just gonna keep going with the Hytale news. It's a lot of fun, and I'm gonna be recording it when it comes out. Maybe they'll drop Hytale ranked Skywars, you never know. Hopefully they're on our side. But yeah, I appreciate it. Let's hope Hytale comes out January 13th.